Hey guys, welcome to another live session here from Encoder Fashion. And here we are in CLO workspace. This live session here is going to be fun, and I hope you guys also enjoy learning CLO, because one of those things that we can't just rush through and then cram in, like say a final. For example, you guys familiarizing with midterm or final in college, and you just cram in to get or to pass the grade. With CLO, it's not that way, guys. With that said, we're gonna take time, enjoy learning CLO, as well as experimenting with pattern making process using CLO 3D tool and CLO 3D pattern making method to create multiple patterns, so you can either sell them or for client. In this case, as a pattern maker like myself, I experience with making women clothing in a real world pattern and transition into technology, which is using CLO 3D. CLO 3D is just one of the tools that we will explore and learn to use that to make garment, to make pattern. It's quite efficient and easy for us to generate any garment and save us time. Not only that, it's get pretty accurate if you know what you're doing. So with that said, we are going to start from basic CLO. And once again, guys, welcome to CLO beginners. I'm going to work in this CLO workspace here, which is 2D workspace to the right, 3D workspace to the left. And we do have some gravity here. That's, I think, one thing that's a little bit harder for many of us when we first start using CLO is that if we make a mistake, let's say, for example, if let's say I somehow get this sewing twisted, okay? So if I right click and then let's reverse this sewing. So now my sewing are twisted, okay? So if I simulate this right now, the dress right here messed up like that. I think that's one of the challenging, at least for me, when I first learning CLO, and I quite don't understand why my dress is messed up. Let's say in the real life, if I make a mistake with sewing, I can undo it and then remove the sewing and then re-sew it. So with CLO, it gives us this weird looking collision, and for a new CLO user, don't panic, guys. The worst thing that happened here, we can either remove all this sewing, which is use this edit sewing tool here, and then click on that sewing and then right click, and you can either remove sewing, like delete sewing function, or reverse sewing like that. And let's try to simulate once again, see it work. And it is kind of clunky, and now it's kind of work its way back, but it's not yet perfect. We can either use that hand tool to adjust like that, or another function that we can use here. I'm going to stop the simulation for now. Another function we can use here, let's switch tool here. Oh, another thing that I emphasize on, another thing that I emphasis on with clothes, you must be on. Another thing that I emphasis on, you must be on the correct tool before certain function to work. So in this case, I will switch the tool here to transform pattern tool. And once again, guys, transform pattern tool is one of those tools like you can click on it to move the pattern, or you can scale the pattern, something like that. Or if you make a mistake, you can command or control plus letter Z to undo, just like that. And something that I want to mention here, you want to marquee select the pattern here and come over here to right click, and we want to select reset 3D arrangement selects. So now as you can see right here, it messed up even worse. So I'm going to command control plus letter Z to undo, and that looks still kind of bad. But what we can do here, we can marquee select here, right click, and then select strengthen, and then let's simulate again, see if it helps. So there it is. Another thing here that I want to point out, guys. So as a pattern maker or the designer, we do have different way of making clothes, different way of designing pattern. However, a good quality of pattern, still a good quality of pattern. That's why Nike pattern is more popular compared to many clothing that you can buy them at Walmart or Sam Club. Again, let me pause this for a second. That doesn't mean Walmart and Sam Club clothing don't have good pattern, but because they don't spend a lot of time do the developing the pattern and tested the pattern before they produce, because they don't have a lot of money to throw at, let's say, compared to Nike. For example, Nike or Under Armour, those shoe brand, before they decide to produce any garment, they do a lot of product testing. And the product testing costs a lot of time and money to make a perfect pattern. And once again, with CLO allow us to test the pattern, evaluate the pattern before even to sample. So the sample production and pattern costs about $2,000 per garment. It's ridiculous expensive. However, though, it takes a lot of time to produce the good quality sample. So I've done it. I create activewear clothing. I create sample my own, which took me probably again a week to produce top and bottom. And not only that, I also use not only the fabric, but also I need to have certain stitches that really close to what the end result. The fabric, I have to order it from Los Angeles to get it to, and I want exact fabric to produce activewear. So when the end result come out, you know exactly what to expect. Another thing here, after I produce the sample, I have to test them out, which is have several models wear them and then see if they feel that if the garment are comfortable or not. So all those stuff are caught and factored onto the garment itself. With CLO actually allow us to kind of have an idea how the garment fit. For example, if I let unstrengthen this and take a look at the garment here. So right here, this is extra fabric here. Let's say if I want to produce this dress with knit fabric, I want this part right here, either trim it in to make it fit or expand the skirt hem here to turn it to A-line skirt. So a straight line skirt here, you require the hip here to have the perfect fit. A-line skirt, it's kind of loose fitted, so it's okay to have room between right here and the hip curve. So with many years of making pattern, I can have a look at the pattern and evaluate either, okay, let's say the dress here, It depends on you as the designer. If you want to turn this right here to an A-line skirt hem, it's okay to leave this extra. Or if you decided to have this a pencil skirt beneath here, you want to fit this hip as well. So it depends on what you want for the design. All right. Last week we talking about balancing the pattern. So one example that I mentioned earlier was, let's say we want to turn the dress into either 6-gore, 8-gores, or 7-gore skirt. We want to have this line here balanced. Let me give you one example about balance here. So I'm going to create this rectangle here and then type in, so 50 centimeter, that's about right, and click on OK. So right here, okay. So when I'm talking about balancing the pattern here, if I want to create internal line here, I'm going to show you how this works. So if I use this edit pattern tool here, click on the center line, right click, and then select offset internal line here. So I'm going to create this, let's say 8.5. So 8.5 is it's a dot line for most, let's say, average woman body, let's say messy, petite. 8.5 is a dot line. So I'm going to click on OK here. However, I'm going to change the fabric here to the monochrome here so we get to see this line better. All right. So 8.5 here, this is a dot line. If I want to create a dot here, okay, so I will use this, let's use this internal dot here, and click on that line there, and then type in 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 10, 10, perfect. And this is the dot, okay. So let's say in this dot here, I'm going to, okay, now this is the perfect example for balancing the line here. You see this dot here, we have 1 centimeter on one side of this center line, okay? So that is a perfect balance. You want that 1 centimeter and with 1 centimeter. So let's say if I want to turn this into a 6-gore or princess seam, for example, if I want to turn this to a princess seam and flare this down here, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So I want to create the flare here, okay? To create the flare here, I want to add or increase right here. Let's say increase 2 centimeter here. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna show you the balances. So I'm going to make an internal line here, and then let's say offset internal line here. Let's go for 2 centimeter. How about that? And okay, go for both sides. Okay, so right here, this is 2 centimeter both sides. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK. So I hope you're following this. Let's say this is the princess line. We imagine here this is the center of the top, and then right here, let's just draw this look more like a side here, so you have an idea. So I'm going to use this internal line here so we can actually draw this. So just hypothetically, right here going to be here, here, and here, okay? So this is the side of the garment. Let's cut this part here. I will use the transform pattern tool here, right click and then select cut. So let's imagine this pattern here is a top, and I'm going to create the princess seam here. So right here I have 2 centimeter each side for the balance of this top. So what I'm gonna do here, I want to create a line from here to here, and also from here to here. So then if I cut it, so this is important. So I have here 2 centimeter here, okay? So I'm going to create a line here, so use the internal line and start from here, this point, just imagine right here. So and then double click here to create this line here, and then So right now, let's click one on the transform pattern tool. So if we look at right here, this is the center pattern here, okay? Center pattern I have right here, down here, and then out here. And now if I look at over here, see, this is the mistake I see many designer who actually work with CLO. And actually, when you're first doing this, guys, it seems confusing. But if you imagine, if you want this part here to have the same balance, if you minus 2 here, you have to add 2 here. And always start from the center, because that's how we see the balance on a garment. It starts from the center. Let's say right here, I have these 2 centimeter here, print these out. Let's say if I want to make a copy here to create a pattern just for the center first, let's go to this trace tool here, and then let's create a trace tool here. So click right here. By the way, guys, I introduced the trace tool earlier this week. So now we're going to use this trace tool to trace this pattern. Simply click on it and then press on shift. You want to click the line that you want to trace here, right here. So this is the center part of the garment right there. And then release the shift key. Hover the mouse over that yellow part right there, and then right click. We want to select trace as pattern, okay? So if I bring it over here, you will see in a second. So, I mean, if you guys the same of what I'm feeling, it's like when it's come to creating pattern or make anything, for me, it's work better when I have the visual of it. Okay, so now look at this. I have a problem here because right now I only trace it with this pattern because I missed this part here. So we want to actually create this part so we can trace the entire pattern here. So we have multiple options here to create that. So first of all, if I want to create a pattern, so I can actually click on this top right here, use this edit pattern tool, and I can simply click on the part right here and then bring it out just like this if I want to have this match. However though, this right here we will curve it later to make it have this curve shape. So I just want you to see this idea here. So now we just create this right here and come over here and let's remove this. Let's see if I can cut it. Nope. And use this, see if I can cut this part. Yep, I can. So I'm going to move this piece out here. And now right here, this is the dot from here. Let's say this is apex, hypothetically. So right here, apex point, come here, waist point, and come down here, more like a hip curve. All right, so now we want to trace this side here, okay? So we'll use that trace tools again. Click on it, click right here, press on shift, and press on shift, and right here. So we want to come right from here to here. So right here, we want to draw another line over here. So let me draw the line first. Use internal polygon shadow line tool. So I want to click one right here, and then draw the line right here. So click twice here to end the line. All right, so we'll have an idea in a second. Now let's trace that again. Click right here, press on shift, click on the line. So we want to trace it. All right, so right here, we want to click this line right here, and this center line. Then right click, trace as pattern. Let's see if this one, I get it. Okay, so this one, I got it. All right, so now let's bring the other piece down here so we get to compare. Okay. And let's remove this piece, we don't need it. All right, so right now I'm going to delete some line we don't need here. First of all, cut this line here because we want this to be dotted. And then remove that, we don't need it. And right here, we don't need this line either. So this line here, we don't need. So okay, also this line here, we don't need. All right, so this is what it looks like. We have 2 centimeters out here. So if you look at right here, we actually add 4 centimeters to one side. We have 2 centimeters and one side we have 2 centimeters. So total we have 4 centimeters from the center. So I'm going to remove this so it won't. So if you look at right here, this line right here is from this line. So this is 2 centimeter. And right here, this point here, this is center point. If I remove this line here, now you look at this princess seam here. So this is what the princess seam balance is like. So if you start to create a princess seam, let me give you one example here. I see this a lot. So let's say this is the top, okay? And I'm going to, let's make a copy here. Again, guys, when you first try to learn the pattern basic part, it's a little bit confusing, but the more you do, the better you can have an idea what it would be. So I'm going to make a copy again, because then I can see it. And guys, if you guys have any question at all about pattern making for women clothing, please leave a comment below the video. You can also have a live chat, but I won't be able to see a live chat because I only have the one screen monitor. So the best part here, leave the comment below the video. I will promise to reach back as soon as I can. Okay, so now look at this. This is, I'm gonna show you the mistake that I see a lot. So when people, or when designer create pattern like princess seam like this, they start to miss and match the balance here. So if I cut right here, so if I cut this part, okay, so I can't cut. Let me see. How about, how about make another copy, and then I will show you. Let's trace this as a pattern again. Use that trace tool, guys. Press on shift and then click right here, and I'm going to show you. This is the part that I see the most common that designer make. It's the patterns not balanced. Okay, so if I move this out over here, so okay, this is the common one that I see, and I'm going to cut this part too. So I'm going to compare the two. So the common one that I see here, they're gonna cut right here, right here, right here, right click. I'm going to trace this as pattern, and I'm going to show you. Again, I also made the same mistake too before I realized, oh, something wrong. And the thing is, see, in Asia, we make a lot of pattern, and we don't normally like use like a paper pattern, do any sample compared to America. When I moved to the United States and went to school with designing clothes, we waste a lot of papers and fabric, which is bad and good. The good part is you get to experience and experiment with all the right and wrong with the pattern before you produce the sample. In Cambodia, when I was started as a seamstress, I did not make any sample. People bring the fabric to me. I use that fabric, boom, to make clothes. And if I make a mistake and something wrong, now the fabric is gone. With American way of designing clothes, we create sample with Muslim fabric, with paper, all those stuff before we create the real fabric. Okay, now let's get back to here. I'm going to show you this mistake here that I see. So I'm going to cut this part here. So right click, and then I'm going to cut it. All right, so this part right here, okay? So if you guys make this mistake, no worry, with CLO we can fix that, which is super simple. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this line here. Alright, so this is what I see, the mistake that many designers did. So as you can see right here, one side of the pattern poke out 2 centimeters, one side of the pattern missed 2 centimeters. So however though, it's not only missed 2 centimeters, it actually missed 4 centimeters, because 2 centimeter is actually, if you add 2 centimeter here, it's not balanced either, because you need 2 centimeter over here. Because this line right here, this is the center line, you want 2 centimeter above the center line. So in this case, not only miss 2 centimeter, it miss 4 centimeter. So if that makes sense. And when you sew this pattern together, the fabric, I promise, does not hang right, and the garment very, very uncomfortable to wear and quite ugly, especially if you want to create a flowy dress. Let's say 6-score dress and you want the flare, and this part right here, it won't be a flare, it will be just drag you in and looks like you have missed the fabric like you lose some part of the fabric, which doesn't look really good. However though, if you make that mistake but with a stretchy fabric and it's fit onto your body, it doesn't look too bad, okay? However though, if you want to create a flare dress, you want to have the perfect balance or the dress looks horrible, okay? Alright, so that's an idea of balancing the pattern. It's important, especially let's say you want to make suit, you want to make a blazer, you want to make let me see, mermaid skirt. By the way, I'm going to create mermaid skirt with 6-score in the future, and I will show you guys some tip and trick on how to do it that save you time and make the skirt looks amazing. So right now you have an idea what balance pattern like and what is not. So this is not balancing, and this, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit annoying if when you create, let's say, this kind of dress or this kind of garment, the more pieces you cut, the more complicated it is. And when I see the pattern are imbalanced, it is a little bit annoying. So the annoying part most is that they don't even know it's imbalanced because they never get a chance to make sample. With that said, I made many samples of this kind of design. I have an idea when the pattern balance or imbalance. So let's say if you want to make legging, okay, or tight fitted sleeve or tight fitted dress, it doesn't matter if you just want to. Let me show you one thing that is matter or not matter. Let's say you just want to create a line. I'm going to remove. Okay, let me do something. Okay, you just want to dissect this top, okay? Let me use this tool here, internal polygon shot line tool. Let's say I just want to create the cut here, the cut here, this cut here, and then boom, I'm going to cut this part. So you just want to create zigzag pattern onto here, and that it doesn't matter if it balanced or not, because you just want to cut this pattern here. So you can add, let's say you want to add black color here, because you know when you have these different color accent. Let me add fabric here, and I'm going to apply the fabric here, and then let's change that to black, or let's say blue, and then let's change the garment rendering style here to translucent here. Okay, let's see, you want to, okay, let's change to black, because what happened, black make you look slimmer. That's what I heard. Oh yeah, it actually makes sense. And then here I want to have that, let's say either white, let's say try white here. Okay, so in this case no problem, because you just want to cut the line. It's not about creating the flare or curl. Let's say the dot, for example, you want a dot 1 centimeter here, 1 centimeter here. You do not want this dot to be 1.5 and this dot is 1 centimeter from the center, because you wanted to have the balance. And believe it or not, guys, when you guys see a well done pattern, or when you put the garment onto your body and it feels so good, It's because the garment, the pattern, structure, well made. Let's say I gave you one example about Nike clothing, Under Armour, why it is so like more popular compared to Walmart brand, because they put a lot of money to produce the perfect pattern before they have them produced. So in this case, well-made pattern make your customer more appreciated and to understand that pattern process. The first thing here, be sure your pattern is balanced, okay? And next we are going to talk about how to probably turn this dress into 6-score dress, something like that. And by the way guys, this is just a quick drapery dress. It's not really a pattern well done dress. It's just a quick dress to give you an idea what the balance of the pattern looks like. So that is it for now, and next week we'll jump back on and continue a live session here from CLO beginner guys. I hope you guys enjoy your weekday, and remember to check back on, oh by the way, before we leave I want to show you something here guys. So if you guys come to my channel Encoder Fashion and you see the blog spot here, click on there and then you will come here, and somehow you want to search for item, let's say top pattern, okay? Because I spend a lot of time to create this perfect picture as well as measurement that for you to practice along with drafting the pattern. And with this, allow you to have the measurement already. And by the way guys, I do not forget at all, I got requests on how to measure, like different way of measuring garment. I promise I will do it because we were sick for a few weeks, so we had like a terrible cold, so we paused everything for a while. But now we are back on, and here I have images right here. When you click on the image, you will see the step-by-step guideline from internal line, and this pattern drafting methods works. I use this method over and over to draft pattern for a real woman figure. So what that means, I use that pattern drafting method apply onto digital pattern making in CLO as well, which allowed me to see the fitting. But not only that, I feel confident that the pattern draft will fit really well because I used that method before in the real world, and I still using it, and I will promise to create more and more complex pattern, especially women clothing pattern for messy size, petite, and so on. So this is right here. So if you guys want to not only watch the video, you want to see the detail on each one, simply click on that more link right here and you will see that right there, encoderblogspot.com. When you click on there, now you get to here and then you can search all the pattern, and I have written down just for you guys to follow along with the video as well as see. The thing is, I'm not sure, like everybody have a different way of learning. For me, I'm good with both. No, I'm not good. I'm not good with just one, but I'm good with seeing the image as well as seeing the writing. So my way of learning, I want a concrete writing as well as the image explanation. That's why I think it's important for me to create data on in with writing as well as follow along with the tutorial, which give you a head start, especially for you beginner. You not only try to learn CLO, but at the same time you try to understand the pattern making process, and I can understand that it's quite complex. And it's so, first of all guys, when I taught designing in my country, average student take about 6 months to learn how to make women clothing, come to the point that they are comfortable to expand on their knowledge. So from 0 day to 6 months, now they are comfortable to make women clothing, but not yet expert. So you have to spend year and year to work with woman body to see the differences and experiment on top of that. However, for you guys, you don't have to experiment too much because I already have the formula that works for you. So as long as you follow the formulas, this formula will work for you when you drafting messy or woman clothing. Not yet plus size though. I'm not yet doing plus size nor men. I'm doing messy, woman size, and so on. Alright, so I just want to thank you guys so much for being here, and once again guys, welcome to CLO Beginner Absolute Basic, and next week we'll come back and continue where we left off. I hope you guys have a good weekday. Yeah, I know Monday. You guys probably work on Tuesday. However, okay, I hope you guys enjoy your weekdays and see you again next live session. Thank you guys so much for being here. Bye.